Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey, and today we will be going over the end of 2025. So this is the first video I'm posting in 2026, but it's the start of a 2025 wrap up. In the next few videos, we're going to talk about the worst books of the year, the best books of the year. But this video, we're really just doing a wrap up of the last quarter of 2025. So that means going over October, November, and December reads, starting with how many books I read in the last quarter. I read 31 books in total, which came to about 10,370 pages and 302 hours listened on audio. So I did a lot of consuming of media in the last few months. The moods that shifted towards the end of the year, I still kept up with this very dark, adventurous, and emotional reads. And I think that stayed true, and it clearly shows in the statistics of 2025 that that was what I was in the mood for. I was into a lot of horror, I'm into a lot of fantasy, sci-fi, and that's really what I'm enjoying. The emotional comes in definitely because the books I'm reading are also quite somber, I find. And maybe in 2025, I should be looking to be more joyful and happy because I'm returning to work. And I think I'm going to need that. In regards to the page number, it really didn't shift at all during the year. I stayed mostly reading between 300 to 500 pages. Pretty average for me, pretty normal. What's really interesting to me is that over the course of the year, a lot of the books that I was reading, 38%, was under 300 pages. And usually that's because I'm reading a lot of manga, but I think also this year I was reading a lot of novellas and shorter books that packed more of an emotional punch because that is what I was looking for. And then, of course, the statistic that has dropped significantly this past year was the 500 pages plus books. I'm not reading that many high epic fantasies. I think it was clear if you were following my channel for the course of the year that I did not keep up with the Wheel of Time, which was one of my goals. I did not keep up with my goal to read more Brandon Sanderson. I just really wasn't feeling epic fantasy this year. I'm hoping that'll change in the next few months because I'm really hoping to tackle this specific statistic, but it is what it is for 2025. In regards to my fiction to nonfiction split, I did read 87% fiction books and 13% nonfiction books. This is actually a positive. I wanted to read way more nonfiction last year, which was at least one a month, and the 13% reflects that. I did read, I think, more than one a month, which is really fun and was really within my goal. And I do want to keep that up for 2026 because nonfiction is really taking a interest and a pull to what I'm desiring to read. And then in regards to the format, no surprise here, 72% of what I was reading this year was audiobooks, simply because I have a 1-year-old now and it is much easier to read or focus on reading when I'm listening to it in my ears so that I can focus on him while also engaging with a hobby that I really enjoy. 10% was digital. That's probably like arcs and stuff that don't necessarily have an audiobook for me to engage with. And then print is probably like the mangas that I have. I obviously don't listen to those on audio. And then my average rating for the quarter was a 3.73, and that reflects well with the rest of the year. I was well within a 3.7 range. And that's because a lot of the books I read in the last quarter of the year were the most exciting for me. I had a lot of video plans that I was really looking forward to. Obviously, October takes a big chunk of that positivity because, as I mentioned, I've been loving horror this year. So obviously it was going to be positively reflected in the ratings. And then, as I did with every quarter, I like to go over my goals and see if I successfully completed them. My first goal was to read 100 books, and I ended the year with 134, 31 of those books coming from the last quarter, which is fantastic. The next goal was to read one nonfiction a month, which was great. I read 13, like I mentioned, so I was a bit above that goal, and I hope to continue that as we move forward. Read more classics. I read 8 in the course of the year overall, and I think 3 of which came in a video I did in November or October where I reread some classics so that I can get those off my shelves and start new ones in 2026. Dwindle down my YA. I did 4 vlogs over the course of the year. One of those was in October for the horror YA that I had, and I've unhauled quite a bit of them from my shelves, making more room for other books that I love. Absolutely slaying that goal. The next goal was to read more Brandy Sandy. Obviously, we already talked about that. I severely lacked in this goal. Same with finishing Wheel of Time. I also did not do any of that in the last quarter of the year. I remember speaking about maybe potentially reading one of Wheel of Time and one of Brandon Sanderson in my last quarterly wrap up. I did not do that. I did not give a fuck about these two goals. The seventh goal was to post consistently. I did that throughout the year. I think in this last quarter, some weeks were affected just because of the holidays. We have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have New Year's, and also my son's birthday. So there were a lot of things that affected the posting that I could do. I think I only missed like 1 or 2 weeks. So whatever, it's not that big of a deal. I want to talk about the best book of the quarter, the worst book of the quarter, and then some like recent purchases that I've done. I just realized I didn't get up to get these books, so I'm going to have to put pictures up. I hope you don't mind. Actually, should I just get them? Okay, hold on. So let's go over the best book that I read for the quarter, which was definitely, without a doubt, You Weren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White. This follows a young trans man named Crane who is part of this like community that serves this insect wormy entity called the Hive. The Hive requests for certain things and the people have to follow it, and the Hive like rewards them in a sense by giving them like what they truly want. And for Crane, obviously it is to be able to present themselves in the gender that they wish. So the Hive has provided them with testosterone. Crane is living his life as a man, but one day unfortunately Crane gets pregnant and the Hive demands that he gives birth. So this was a very interesting book, to say the least, to read after giving birth. I think there's a lot in here with body horror in regards to birth that I found to be not validating but extremely interesting to read. And although I can't speak for the gender dysphoria that Crane goes through while also giving birth, I can definitely talk about the body dysmorphia that comes from being pregnant, from having to give birth, and how I think Andrew Joseph White tackled it really, really well in like a horror sense. So I absolutely love this. I gave it 5 stars. It's one of the like aardvark book picks that I'm extremely impressed by. I really like body horror, and I find by using body horror, you're able to tackle things in a really interesting way. So this was definitely a hit for me. But I do want to talk about the last few books that I read for the year because of something that's taken over the world by storm. That's right. Heated Rivalry is also one of my best books of the year. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care. I love this book. I love Shane and Ilya. It follows their romance as they are pit against each other as two of the best rookie hockey players in the league. And over the course of 10 years, how their relationship develops from this more physical embodiment of their rivalry to a possible romantic relationship. If you don't know what Heated Rivalry is or you haven't watched the show, please do. I think it is art. I think it is amazing. It's so distinctly Canadian. I just love everything about it. I love hockey. I love yearning. I love competitive relationships. So obviously this was going to be a hit for me. The show is a definite hit for me. The vlog for this is the last vlog I posted. I wanted to end the year with a bang. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Do I think this is the best writing in the whole entire world? No. Do I think this relationship does something for me up here? Yes. Ilya quickly became one of my favorite characters. I just loved this book. I can't explain it anymore. I've already rewatched the show 3 times. I think I'm going to rewatch it again for the 4th time. Don't talk to me about it, but do talk to me about it, please. In regards to the worst book of the quarter, I don't think I had any. There were no 1 stars or 2 stars. It was really a 3 and up quarter, which is really well. If I must pick one, I think I could stick to my rereads of Pride and Prejudice or The Great Gatsby, which I reread for my reading classics vlog, because when I read them, they felt average to me, and when I reread them, they remain average. And I feel like I still have this very unpopular opinion about them. So if I had to pick, it would be those two. But again, all the books I read were pretty much 3 and up. And then finally, just to end this quarterly wrap up, I want to talk about my 2 recent purchases that actually are pretty fitting for the vibe of the last quarter, the vibe of my year, really, because I don't really feel like, if we look at all my quarterly wrap ups, they changed monthly in regards to like what I was enjoying and what I was doing. So the first book I got recently is The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Khaw. I don't know what this is about. I just know that people absolutely love this. You may know how the fairy tale goes. A mermaid comes to shore and weds the prince. What the fables forget is that mermaids have teeth, and now her daughters have devoured the kingdom and burned it to ashes. On the run, the mermaid is joined by a mysterious plague doctor with a darkness of their own. Deep in the eerie snow-crusted forest, the pair stumble upon a village of ageless children who thirst for blood and the 3 saints who control them. The mermaid and her doctor must embrace the cruelest parts of their true natures if they hope to survive. I literally have no idea what that means. I just know that people really, really like this novella. It's so short. I just want to give it a try. It sounds really, really weird. So I could probably love this. And then the other novella I picked up, I've been waiting for it to go on sale and be a bit cheaper of a price, and that is Graveyard Shift by ML Rio. I really enjoyed ML Rio's If We Were Villains. It was a 5-star read for me. I absolutely loved it. So I really did want to pick up ML Rio's next release. It's just that in Canada, this is like $40, and I find that to be ridiculous for less than 200 pages. So, oh my gosh. This is bright AF. Every night in the college's ancient cemetery, 5 people cross paths as they work the late shift. A bartender, a rideshare driver, a hotel receptionist, the steward of their derelict church that looms over them, and the editor-in-chief of the college paper, always in search of a story. One dark October evening in the defunct churchyard, they find a hole that wasn't there before. A fresh, open grave where no grave should be. But who dug it and for whom? Sounds good to me. Sounds intriguing. I haven't heard the best things about this one, but I'm really hoping because I already have established that I like ML Rio's books, I'm going to like this one. Wish me luck. And that's it. That is all for my quarterly wrap up. Please let me know down below what you read in the last quarter of the year. Did any of your last quarter reads make it to your top books of the year? I would really like to know that. And if you would like to follow me on any of my other social medias, I do leave a link down below to my Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram if you would like to follow me there. Of course, never forget that we are all part of capitalism and we just need to support each other in the ways that we can. And unfortunately, that means participating in the use of things created by billionaires for our disadvantages. Whatever. But if you would like to follow me, the links are down below. And of course, because it is the end of the video, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. It does wonders for my channel, makes me feel really good. And I never know how to end these things, so I will see you next time with my worst books of the year. Bye!